I've lost my whole home, I've lost everything. But the main thing that kept me waking up every morning are these cats.
So as the cats come into our lives, we look after them, we treat them like our own children, we bring them up in our homes and generally take care of them as they come in and as they need rescuing. They all hold special places in each of our hearts.
The Fernandez family run the Jugomaro Predator Park in Krugersdorp, South Africa. It's home to 6 lions, 10 tigers, 3 caracals and a jaguar.
We've been looking after animals for about 8 years now. We went to visit a farm one day and we came across tiger. The mother was trying to get rid of it because he looked different to the other siblings. And we actually felt so sorry for this tiger. We actually asked the owner if he'll give us this cat. And with a lot of love and dedication, we nursed him back to health, and his name was Panjo. And that's how we started.
Because I keep contact with my cats every single day, I get to hand feed them. This is why they're so different towards me. I can do a lot more things with these cats than what most people can even do with their dog. I'd rather be killed by one of my cats than actually being in town getting murdered for 50 Rand in my cell phone.
Looking through a dirty old window.
No, this one here was actually a bite mark from Elvis, where I was busy feeding him, and as he turned around, he closed his mouth, and basically my boob was in his mouth. This one was Zaya, this one was Apollo, those 2 are Blade, that was Hercules. For 9 years almost being with the cats, these are the only marks I have. Okay, the daily routine that we have with the cats is waking up early in the morning, just coming around, checking if they're all okay. I go in with them, I brush them, they get a bit of a milk bottle, maybe once, maybe twice a week. Play soccer with them inside the enclosures with balls that are very indestructible. Get to hand feed them, sit down, let them just chill and relax with me. Well, the feeding process with the big cats cost me between 11,500 Rand a week, equivalent to about $1,000, about 600 pounds, where we go through 1,000 kilos of chicken a day just to feed these cats. So it's a very expensive process. Well, the past predator park that we had was an absolutely 5-star, amazing living style for the cats, where the cats had beautiful enclosures the size of football fields, with running water, swimming pools, jungle gyms, night rooms, over 300 trees in each enclosure for shelter and shade for the sun.
We got into financial difficulties with the banks, and then the liquidators got involved. We lost the park in November. We left with the clothes on our back. We lost 3 tigers with the relocation, and we lost 2 wolves, and we lost a caracal. It was very sad to think that for so many years we really saved, and we went out of our way to build them pools and to make the environment as natural as possible. And it's very sad to think that what they had and where we are now, it's so hard sore, because they're used to their pools now. They've only got like small tubs. The effect it had on my family was a great shock, because it happened so suddenly.
Since losing the park, the family have had to relocate to a significantly smaller temporary location.
We're currently living in a caravan, and it is a little bit difficult as it's like all open in the bush. We've got an outdoor shower, which we have to actually boil our water, which takes about 3 hours. We've been living like this for exactly a year now. It would have been easy for us to just sell the cats and get back on our feet again, but unfortunately, my family, that wasn't an option, and we'll rather have nothing and have our cats. The future plans, well, we hope to find our own piece of land again, give my cats a better home. Even if I have to stay in the caravan for another year, we don't mind. And the most important thing is to give them all proper swimming pools and proper shelters and trees, and yeah, that's my dream for them.
Nothing in this world, not sex, not food, can top just casually going for an hour hike with a bear. Nobody else in the world can do this. Nobody else in the world does this.
At Point of View Farm in West Virginia, 74-year-old Joel Rosenthal lives with 5 black bears.
Look at you, Boo.
He's been rescuing wild bears for the past 7 years, raising them inside his house and keeping them safe from hunters.
I take naps with them. We play in the house. They get fed in the house. And then as they grow, they're moved to larger facilities outside. It's really special to be able to hike around with 2 or 3 bear cubs that are just following me. So I really have to pinch myself all the time because I can't believe that I'm really, really doing this, that I have this relationship with these animals.
Once the hunting season has passed and the bears are old enough, Joel releases them back into the wild.
They don't go off and become a nuisance. They don't break into people's homes. They don't attack people. They just go off and become wild bears, which is exactly what they're genetically programmed to do. I've had 20 bears altogether. My guess is that almost all of them have been killed by hunters. I try to separate my emotions from it. I have to divorce from my brain any accumulation of grief, knowing that, again, most if not all the bears that I've released are dead.
People often contact Joel when they find bears injured or abandoned in the hope that he'll take them in. And the first bear came into his care in 2009.
Rose is almost 7 years old. She was raised in the house, and a couple years ago she had a cub right here, and I played with the cub every day until she went off with the cub into the forest. But she's probably about 300 pounds. But I gotta lock her up, keep her from being shot. While she and I have this special relationship, if I were to let her out right now, she wouldn't bother anybody, but once she's off in the woods, she's just a wild bear. So this is Waffles. Waffles almost 2 years old. He's probably close to 200 pounds, and he is such a sweetie. Waffles is locked up because instead of going off and being a real bear for the summer, he decided that he wanted to be in the house all the time.
Joel lives deep in the forests on the deserted side of a large river. This means he can go months on end without seeing another human being.
So this is all part of Point of View Farm. Non-profit charitable organization, a wildlife sanctuary, 262 acres, and I'm the only one living on this side of the river for miles. I live all alone. I live miles from the nearest human being. I sometimes go a month or more, 2 months, without ever seeing another human being, and I'm a happy camper.
Joel predominantly feeds his bears with meat, but sometimes treats them to something a little bit different.
Waffles likes peanut butter, but Rose does not, so she doesn't get any peanut butter. I give those 3 bears some of this meat, but Actually, I've been cutting back a little bit because the temperature's getting cold. I feed them several times a day. I want them to get used to me. I want them to become bound to me, so that we have this special relationship, which makes the entire process of raising them and eventually releasing them a lot easier. I prefer any animal to humans.
While Joel has never been attacked by one of his bears, he realizes the threat they pose due to their sheer size.
Well, I consider bears to be very, very safe. All the statistics bear that out. Regardless of anything I am prejudiced about. Bears are wonderful animals. I've never been attacked by a bear. We're talking about a 200 or 300 pound animal who is stronger than 10 human beings and quicker than a rattlesnake. And yet here I am as the doting mother trying to discipline a huge linebacker. There's a likelihood, at the very least, I'm going to get scratched or injured a little bit, but it's not out of malice, it's not out of an attack. I'm respectful because they are wild animals, despite the fact that I've raised them. Come on, Sarah. Come on, Coda. Come here. I get a lot of attention on my Facebook page. Joel Rosenthal. I put up lots of pictures of the animals, videos of the animals. There are people from all over the world who now follow the exploits that happen here at Point of View Farm. Is this my boy? There's no doubt about it that my raising, caring for, interacting with, and releasing bears into the environment has been very, very special. I'm 74 years old now. This is the culmination of my lifelong dream to have a place like this. And it's all happening. Here they come again. Come on, Boog! Look at you guys. Look at all three of you.
We're one big bear family. Our bear family, it's like every other family and stuff. You love them to death, but there's other times they drive you nuts, right?
Jim and Susan run a centre for orphaned wildlife in Otisville, New York.
I'm there every day, but he is the one that walks in the door and everybody lights up. You know, and it's kind of funny because they just love him to death. Come on, go inside or get out of the way. And I'm the one that does all the work, and he just has to walk in the door.
This is Jimmy, a 21-year-old Kodiak bear rescued from a closing wildlife park. He's just one of the 11 bears that lives with them.
They knock you around a little bit and stuff, nothing, you know, not maliciously, you know, but you gotta watch you don't get scratched or poked in the eye or something. Hey, you know better than that. What are you doing? It's all right. They kill you, you know. He just have to hit you one time.
Kodiak bears are one of the largest species in the world.
He's about 1,400 pounds, and if he stood up on his hind legs, he'd probably be about 9 feet tall.
Think of the strongest person you know or whatever, and you can magnify that by 1,000 times. Yeah, he's big. I mean, a small bear will kick your butt, and he's got so much strength. All he would have to do is lay on you. There you go, there's the answer.
He's like them. He's like a bear. He has no fear of them. It's really amazing. We've had Jimmy for 21 years now. Got him as a little cub and he's been with us his whole life.
Taking care of bears throughout their lives means that Jim and Susan develop deep bonds with the animals.
Exactly the same as like somebody was mourning their child.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's the same thing. We spend a lot of time with them. We care so much for them. We lost 4 altogether so far here.
It would be just like burying one of your family members. I can't.
Back at the centre, it's lunchtime. In the wild, these bears need to eat up to 90 pounds of food every day. Everything from baby elks to spawning salmon, berries and plants.
You guys ready to eat?
And here, the bears enjoy a daily diet of meat, grains, breads, fruit and veg, with the occasional marshmallow treat.
These bears, the ones in the wild, they're always looking for food. They really don't want for anything other than attention.
One of the other bears at the centre is Jenny.
When the bears are little and they're with their mother, after they drink their milk, they suckle on her for a time and they make this little noise that you hear. She just never grew up. She still does this. She looks at me as if I'm her mother. When she gets to the pinky, she likes to just bite down on that pinky. I love being around her, and I'm happy that she feels that way about me still after all these years. Oh, peanuts. All right, I'll have some peanuts. It's all a wonderful thing to watch them grow up and to have them from very little and to make an impression on them.
They're like your children. That's how much you love them. And they give a lot back to you too, you know, they love you just as much. Sometimes you take it for granted, but it is a special relationship.
Yeah, the bears are everything to me. I would do anything for them. I spend all day with them every day.
This is our life. We're one big bear family.
Okay, you got it? Yeah. For some strange reason, the neighbours don't pop round for cuppers, do they?
Susie and Simon are obsessed with snakes, lizards and spiders. They run and live in a sanctuary in Dunstable, Bedfordshire, that houses hundreds of species that would make most people's skin crawl.
I think we're around 18 plus minus snakes, so it's quite a lot. We have several venomous snakes here at the moment, including western diamondback rattlesnakes. We've got 3 of those. We've got 2 reticulated pythons in here. One's about 12, 14 feet and the other one's probably about 10 feet in length, so they're both quite big. If it manages to get round you and starts constricting you, the chances of you getting it off yourself are quite slim.
Among their daily chores is the daunting process of cleaning out the many reptile tanks.
All right, good idea. Watch out. I don't want to grab her head if I don't have to. Oop. Okay, now I do. Okay, here we go. All right, you got it? Whoa, oh, shit, that's a pain. That's it. So, don't really go on. Yeah, oh, there we go. There we go. That's what can happen. Miss me. Ready? In you go. Defense mechanism if she feels threatened, because we have to grab her. If we don't grab her head, she can turn around and bite you in the face, then you're in real trouble. Because of that, she just emptied our whole bodily system all over the place. One of the chores I've got to do now is actually give an injection to a NAR monitor. It's quite a powerful animal. It takes 2 of us to deal with it. He can whip you with his tail, he can bite you. And I basically found out that he had a bit of an infection somewhere inside him. So every day you have to come in here and give this thing an injection, which sounds easier than it is, but they're quite a handful. There you go. These off, yeah. What's that like? Got him? Oh, don't let him bite you. Okay, you got him? Yeah. Just wait a sec. Okay, hold on. Just goes in very slow, very thick stuff. This.
Oh, that'll find you.
Okay, wait, nearly there. 3/4 done. Okay, done. No, no, not that way. That way.
Biting, look at that. Done.
Fun and games. There you go. That's it. He likes leaning on it, doesn't he? If you get bitten by a venomous snake, your life is in danger. Most of the time people don't die from venomous snake bites, but you could end up in really big trouble, like say you might lose a hand, a finger, an arm. They can be quite dangerous. If you have an aggressive 20-foot snake, it's not handleable on your own, not safely anyway.
Feeding their many reptiles is a big job. Defrosting the frozen rats is the first step.
So we're going to feed our resident rattlesnake here. Obviously you've got to be very careful, they do have venom, so you do not want to get venom in you, it's a hospital job. So she has injected venom into it, she doesn't need to constrict it, she's still feeling a bit cross with us, so I think she's concentrating on us, not the food item right now.
Though a rare occurrence, snake bites are a painful reminder of the pitfalls of looking after venomous reptiles.
I have been bitten before. I was bitten by a copperhead, actually twice. My arm swelled up at the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, started to go black. The pain is like putting your hand or arm into boiling water or fire.
Safety is a top priority for the pair.
We've got protective gloves which can withstand a snake bite. Every door is double locked and the cage is obviously locked as well. We do have neighbours here. There's 6 houses or so on the left side of the building, and on the other side is a golf course. They know there's snakes here.
But the couple has a serious message for visitors to the sanctuary, especially inexperienced would-be owners of exotic animals.
We try to educate people about the snakes and why the snakes are here. You know, people see a nice cute little snake in a pet shop, something that might only be a few inches long and potentially can get 18+ feet.
Having visitors here at the Secret Sanctuary as well, we're trying to sort of change people's attitudes, how they feel about snakes. People think they're horrible, slimy, disgusting, so hopefully by coming here they see how amazing they are, how beautiful they are.
And the couple's animal ambitions don't end with reptiles and spiders.
I think if there were no limits, no licensing, no worries about space, we'd end up having elephants and probably a giraffe's heads coming through the window.
I'd love to get a gorilla. It's not just snakes we're into, or reptiles rather. It's anything, you know. We'd always have animals around us, that's for sure.